Hello, and welcome to Akash and Friends, the podcast. Today we have a very old friend from a very far away place. I would consider this part two in a series of figuring out how and where and how and why and all of the things about Comedy Factory. Please welcome my old good friend Manan Desai.
I am an old good friend. I'm not the current good friend. Good times, man. Good times. Why is it called AMF and you are calling it Akash and Friends?
Akash Mehta and Friends.
Oh, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you should have announced Akash Mehta and Friends. So it should be AM and F.
Yeah, but that's a bit difficult to execute.
Yeah, AMF.
AMNF. AMNF.
AMF sounds like Akash Management Federation.
Yeah, that was the original plan.
Oh.
But then I realized that Lasun Live is already doing the same thing. So
Oh yeah, lesson. I remember that. Oh, good times, man. The antisocial times. Oh, that was good.
Oh man, I remember.
The fourth video or the fifth video of yours was an after movie of that.
The first after of the first antisocial.
Yeah.
You are in the third antisocial
Yeah, it was fun.
where Kanan hits you in the dick.
Oh fuck, dude, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still remember Karan Gill. He was headlining that night, and who else was there? Chirayu was there.
No, Chirai was not there.
No, Chirayu was there with the Tanmay.
Yeah, he was on that.
Yeah.
On the Insanity lineup. You remember the one time when we had the night you were there was when I was in England. I remember. And I was very picky about who would host the show when I was not in India. And I had asked you specifically, कि ये रात तू please host कर ले.
Yeah, because it's a very rare combination that a good host necessarily does not mean he's a great comedian. I think hosts are good hosts. Like,
No, I disagree. I think the reason why you're a good comic and a host is because like you didn't have a choice.
no, every
You start
comic
a scene.
every comic is a good comic, but like Dave Chappelle will never host.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a Louis C.K. or a Biswa or a Kanan will never host.
You never know. Like, cause I think it's also the fact that they don't need to host anymore. Like we still do shows that we program ourselves and we produce ourselves. So then there is I go out of my way to host now.
Yeah.
Just to give context to everybody who's watching this, Manan was an RJ and then he became a comedian, and then Vidya and Manan started Comedy Factory, and now we are at this point where you are like the biggest Gujarati content creation company right now in the world, if you ask me, right? Like I don't think there's anybody bigger.
Sort of. Yeah.
Who's bigger?
I mean, if Dharma produces a Gujarati film, will be bigger.
No, I mean, but again, that's like a production thing. I'm talking about the kind of stuff we do in terms of YouTube and
Yeah,
not just YouTube.
digital content, yes. Digital
Yeah.
content, definitely.
And
Because now we are getting into brand integration. Thanks to the pandemic, we are not being able to
live
go on
shows.
stage.
Yeah.
And that has given us an opportunity to, widen our horizons and find new avenues to get the ball rolling, and also rent. So, so we gotta pay our rent, and that's why we have now got into brand integration. We did a couple of things with real estate brands, and we're doing it with FMCG sector now. Slowly
Right.
we're talking to all sectors. कि हम थोड़ा comedy solutions हम देते हैं, and we are doing campaigns which are really interesting, really authentic. Like with the ice cream brand, we are like ice cream khao, घूमते जाओ. That kind of simple 90s branding kind of a feel. But Malhar is talking to his friends and family across the world, and they are showing him around. So it's like a video call, but we are shooting it on DSLR.
Right.
So people will get to see a Sydney Opera House during a pandemic, a Harbour Bridge during the pandemic, Walk of Fame and the Hollywood sign. Hollywood sign to pandemic mein aaye, regular day mein bhi see nahi. But yeah, these kind of things which people don't, and we will see, Masai tribe doing Garba. So those kind of interesting stuffs.
The Masai tribe does Garba?
We are going to make them do it. So let's see if they do it or not.
So how many countries are in this campaign now?
Six
Because I counted like 4.
Yeah, Australia, Africa, UK, United States of America, Dubai, and Africa.
Africa is a continent.
No, sorry, Kenya.
Kenya. Oh fuck. A lot of Gujaratis in Kenya.
Yeah.
That's one good thing, no, about being a Gujarati, because like I think y'all Comedy Factory ended up being one of the first people to tour internationally.
Yeah.
Because the Gujaratis are everywhere.
Exactly. I think we are the only collective who has comprehensively toured so much.
Yeah.
There is no other collective per se. Individually comedians गए हैं, tour
Yeah.
किया है, पैर में किया है शायद, जैसे सपन और अंगद गए थे.
Yeah.
But collective wise, we were the only troupe who has done Africa, UAE,
Australia, US, Canada.
Yes, Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
वो Canada में भूल गया. Canada was the sixth one.
Ah, okay.
मैंने अफ्रीका 2 बार बोला शायद.
Oh, okay. I only caught it once.
Yeah.
But yeah, so is it, you know, when I was here for 2 years, honestly, I thought the idea was like was a hard push, and that's coming from somebody who does a lot of things which are, this podcast is a hard push.
Yeah.
You know, so it felt like like I remember the attitude hasn't changed when it comes to you, like from day one, where it was like हम सब करेंगे, हम सबको साथ में लेके आगे बढ़ने वाले, like a very Modi-esque approach to things, but you actually followed through with the Sabka Vikas, like, because I've seen everybody in Comedy Factory grow in a unit, you know, not as individuals, which is very rarely the case with a collective.
No, so now being the only surviving collective in the country, we have. So I've been speaking to Saurabh, I've been speaking to Tanmay, I've been speaking to a lot of people about how they, you know, sort of functioned as a unit.
Yeah.
And I get to hear different stories about it.
Yeah.
See, about the collective is that you need to be on the same page, all of you, right? But with the team, it's not necessary you need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody can do their own shit and contribute together. And when you, it's like Avengers, you know,
Yeah.
when you ensemble, you contribute to the bigger or the greater cause. And that's what we are becoming now, slowly and gradually. We want to, because, you know, the affinity of content creation is now more individualistic.
Yeah.
It's not more team oriented. What happens is that all the channels. I'm so fucking sorry. I should put this on silent.
But it's from Australia, no?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you. Yeah.
Oh, this is your friend in Sydney. Gorgeous. I love it.
मैं तो बता रहा हूँ.
Oh.
So all such nice snippets. आ जाओ.
સારું છે સમજાતું નથી ને તો આપણે બેવ લે બેઠા. It's all good man, it's all good.
Sapa, I'm MBA, મને પાછું આવડે.
Crazy stuff, man. Australian, Armenian, પાસેથી અમે ગુજરાતી બોલાવડે hilarious.
This is one thing I love about Manan. Whenever you hang out with him, he will show you things. And
Yeah.
you have to see them.
And that's the issue with me, that whenever I do something good or whenever I see something good or hear something good, I feel that अंदर से मैंने compulsion आवे कि I should make this listen to, or this should be watched by everybody I know, because I love to share good content. I love to share something new that I've done. You know, obviously, if I do regular shit,
Yeah.
I don't like to share it with everybody. I don't want a stand-up video. I know that's gonna end up as such.
People will see it anyway. Yeah.
But if I do something unique, which people won't be, you know, experiencing otherwise,
Huh.
I would like to share that. You know how much music I shared.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I was getting at. Like, is this something that you've been doing since bachpan? And if so, then what did it
So
start
the
with?
reason is because my dad used to make mixtapes as a profession, right? Like how Gulshan Kumar started. He started by making pirated pirated cassettes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And at that point of time, there is not too much of awareness about the copyright law and You know how the 80s and the 90s was.
Oh yeah, this is also around the time when brands like his master's voice,
Yeah,
like
HMV.
HMV, was single-handedly brought down by
Yeah.
people like T-Series and all,
Exactly.
who were making counterfeit tapes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
HMV was something very close to us. But my dad had the largest collection of gramophone records, and he used to make mixtapes for his friends.
Right.
And then later on, he turned that into a profession.
Right.
So he used to पहले कैसेट्स आती थी 60 minutes and 90 minutes.
Yeah.
और उसमें वो रिकॉर्ड करते थे. You had to play. अभी तो क्या है कि you can just copy paste, right?
Yeah.
During that time, you had to play the entire fucking song, wait for it to get recorded, then
Stop everything just on time.
Yeah, and then change the record, play the record again, and record again. And you cannot re-record on the same reel over and over again, otherwise
it gets
reel gasai there. So dad used to do that all his life, right? And I used to see that since childhood. So I'm like, wow, dad has made a profession out of sharing music. In fact, his dad and my dad were really close because of that. They connected because of music.
Right.
And the only reason I think કે મારા મમ્મી પપ્પાનું નક્કી થયું અને સેટ થઈ ગયું is because Raja Masa met them. And Raja Masa and my dad connected so well કે હવે રાજા મળી જ ગયા છે તો હવે તો લગ્ન કરવા પડશે. It's a good connection, it's a good bonding. So I saw that since the childhood, and I thought that's a good thing, that when you listen to something great or when you hear something great, it's always, so I used to do it since bachpan. I still remember I had a fight with my dad because one of my friends, when I was in 6th standard, he wanted to, he's no more, unfortunately. My dad and my friend, both of them.
Yeah.
So my friend, he passed away in a car accident. And he basically did a CD. Jare navi CD burning avi tu, Nero burning, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
The Nero burning days. And my dad was just adopting that technology. And we burned a CD for, all those songs. Backstreet Boys and
You remember when you used to burn those CDs, you could burn it as an audio CD or a data CD.
Yeah.
And if you burned it as an audio CD, you could have X number of minutes of music on it. But if you burned it as a data CD,
exactly,
you could put like 200 songs.
It was 80 minutes, I still remember. It was 80 minutes and 700 MBs.
Yeah.
Either of the two. So my dad burned that CD. And I told my friend, I think that time we charged about $250 during that time.
Right.
क्योंकि उस वक्त Max 6, Max 7 ये सारी cassettes मिलती थी at $125.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a mixtape which had like Max 1, Max 2, Max 3, Max 4, Max 5, Max 6, उसमें से best songs, so you gotta pay a little extra buck, right? So my friend was really desperate to get that CD done.
Right.
And he gave me a list के मने आज तेरे songs જોઈએ છે. And we burned that CD, and my dad told me, take $250 from him. And I told him that मैंने पता नहीं क्या उसको बोल दिया था, मैंने 125 ही उसको बोला था. तो अभी 125 का जुगाड़ कर रहा था मेरे को. क्योंकि पापा ने बोला था 250 देना, उसने 125 दिया. बाद में मैंने बोला पापा वो देगा. और पापा was के बाद में क्या हो रहा है ये वो क्या हुआ मनन हुआ कि नहीं. And that was the first time I stole money from my dad's pocket.
Oh man, how old were you?
I was 14, I guess. 6th standard में कितना क्या है? ना 12 वर्ष.
Right.
So 12 વર્ષની ઉંમરમાં that was the first time.
You say it like you've done it more than once.
Yeah. I've done it about 20 times.
I like that you have a count.
Yeah, about 20 times. I'm not too sure. It might be less. It might be more. But I've been caught most of the times. I've never confessed it because Dad eventually realized that paisa kya jai raha hai? Paisa, where is it going?
How much were you stealing?
Like $100 at a time.
Okay.
And then I used to go to Rashri Theatre and watch movies. The same movie 3 times.
What movie did you watch 3 times, Manan?
The Mummy. The Mummy 2, sorry.
Did you watch The Mummy dubbed or did you watch it in English?
I watched it dubbed, obviously. Dubbed was the shiz, bro. Rajshri always released movies dubbed version.
Right.
The first movie I watched dubbed version was The Matrix. It was called Mayajal.
Really?
Yeah, it's Mayajal. तभी कौन सी શું કહેવાય ને ટેબ્લેટ
ગોલી?
હા कौन सी गोली लोगे? Okay, now we gotta cut now.
We gotta cut, guys.
We'll continue from
Somewhere.
Matrix dub.
You know what? We were talking about growing up with your dad in the studio and all of that. But what is really interesting to me is this phone call, because I've seen you do this for the last God knows how many years I've known you.
Yeah.
Which is teach non-content people content and just get work out of people who don't understand how to make content and get
because
content.
it's cheap, first of all. No, to be very honest, the thing is that today in the morning only when I was shooting with this guy, he told me he took like about 2 minutes and he explained it to me. Now I know why actors charge so much. Now I know how much. When I taught him to get the right angle, when I taught him to wear the AirPods for better sound quality and stuff like that, he understands that there's a lot of. It's a very long process. It's a very detailed process.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as camera chalu ki acting karti and that's about it.
Yeah.
So and all my life, like मुझे पता है कि the actors, the comedians, all the content creators, they know what they are doing. But it's very important to educate the audience how much work or how much mehnat goes into these kind of things.
Yeah.
Plus, I know a hell lot of people like Exhibit A, him.
I wish I had a third camera fourth camera to point at him also.
Who has wasted most of his life being an artist himself.
Yeah.
He has done banking job for good 8 years. Him. તે બેન્કિંગ જોબ કેટલા વર્ષ કરી? 3.5. એના પહેલા શું કરતો હતો તું?
Working with a chartered accountant.
So chartered accountant and banking combined about 8 years?
Including my whole work experience is around about 9 years.
Okay.
Including internship.
So 9 years of non-content rather.
Yeah, non-content job, and then I pushed him so much that also nepotism. So it's not always about nepotism. Like I meet a lot of friends of mine and normal people like Chirayu and Deep.
Yeah.
They never knew me.
Yeah. I mean, I was there the first open mic Deep did with you all.
Yeah. And I fucking pushed them. Like you have to fucking do this. You can't think of doing silly stuff and waste your life.
Which is interesting. Like I think that must have been a slightly easier conversation with someone like Deep as opposed to someone like Chirayu, because Chirayu is a very santusht person in life.
Yeah. No, Chirayu and I always have an argument. The thing is that sometimes when I really feel that a person is like, I have seen his sister waste her life despite of having such amazing amount of talent. She's such a great singer.
Right.
Like if I had the capacity, I would have done everything possible. She's in Australia right now after being married and now she's a mother. I would have done everything to, the world know what talent she really is.
Yeah.
I can't, and there's a negative side also to it, that sometimes I really get a little, a little pushy. You have also seen that at times.
Yeah.
I get a little pushy when I see that, it's not like I know what is right for you.
Yeah.
But it's like, why are you not doing what is right for you?
Yeah. I can understand that frustration, because I think all of us feel it also, especially after the lockdown.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you are seeing your peers who throughout the lockdown went, nahi, ye to khatam ho jayega, and they just didn't do that upgrade technologically and learn the new skills. And now it's almost frustrating. Like, why aren't you doing this? You are funny, you are good at making stuff, but you are so stuck on doing it in one way.
Yeah.
That you want to miss out.
Like Abhishek Uppanu also posted stories yesterday, saying the same thing. That सब लोग कर रहे content डाल रहे, तो चलो मैं भी कुछ कर रहा हूँ. So he also is catching up with it.
Yeah.
Because we feel like, I had a conversation with Zakir also, and Zakir says that, dude, it's all about live performance. So right now he's being live streaming सबके साथ तो हो ही रहा है, collaborations हो ही रहे हैं. Like this is what is happening right now. Podcast हो रहे हैं, streaming हो रहा है, ये वो. But authentic खुद का content create करना, a lot of people think that no, this is not the right time. अभी बहुत सारे लोग झुंड में हैं. Because it's just too much happening. Like for the audience also to digest and to have an affinity towards one particular genre or one particular artist, it's now becoming way more difficult. Like now, content creation is becoming equivalent to becoming an engineer or a doctor.
Yeah, almost.
You know, like it's that competitive.
Yeah.
So पहले market सिर्फ 50-100 लोग संभालते थे.
Yeah.
अब धीरे धीरे वो grow हो रहा है, 1000 तक number पहुंच गया, and slowly and gradually it will go to up till 1 lakh.
Yeah.
Wherein, you know, every person will have their 1,000 audience.
But it makes sense also, right? Because we are a country of 1 billion people. It's obvious. Like, I mean, in Bollywood still there is so much restriction of money, right? कि picture बनाने के लिए you need X crore rupees.
Yeah.
But in content creation online, there's not that restriction. So obviously, out of 1 billion people, at least 10 lakh लोग तो रहेंगे जो content बनाने वाले.
जी बिल्कुल. I think that's a good way to look at it, and we should be prepared कि हमारा market share होगा ही होगा. अभी क्या है कि काफी सारे लोग अपना market share give up करना नहीं चाहते.
Yeah.
But that will just make the market even worse, because what we have seen is that वही गिने चुने 100-200 comedians पूरे market को 1.3 billion people and just 500 full-time working comedians.
Yeah.
कितना बड़ा gap है.
500 also is a good question, right?
मैं 500 optimistically बोल रहा हूँ.
I would say it's less than 100 right now in terms of people who are still functioning post-COVID.
Yeah.
And except for that one big group of comics.
Yeah.
If you take that out of the equation, then how many are there? There are 15 of us, 20 of us.
Yeah. So it's very less.
Very very small.
So we are in a very privileged position.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I mean, I know a lot of comics who are really great comics that in that given time frame of 2010 to 2015.
Yeah.
But I don't see them now. A lot of comics are dropping out. You can see a decline in a lot of comics because of the adaptability issues.
Yeah.
You know, और वो होगा ही होगा. So it's always about how do you one up your own game, not the competition game.
Yeah.
वो ये कर रहा है तो मैं ये करूँगा. Just how, like now I'll start vlogging is what I've decided.
Yeah.
Right, like how you also decided to start vlog. I think the audience really enjoys to get up. Like that's why I understand now why Bigg Boss is such a big hit.
They want to know about your life.
Yeah, and that's what it's come down to because of the internet. Now people don't want to see content. It's like I still remember 2 दिन पहले ही मेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, स्कूल फ्रेंड है, उसने मुझे एक गेम भेजी. उसने बोला कि बनन ये गेम खेल और इसका स्ट्रीमिंग कर तू. तो मैंने बोला कि ये तो क्या है यार, इससे बेटर मैं PUBG या Fall Guys या ऐसा कुछ स्ट्रीम करके गेम करूँगा तो ज़्यादा मुझे व्यूअर्स मिलेंगे. So he's like, no one, and it's not about the content.
It's about you.
Yeah. You are the content.
Yeah, the game is just a way to generate video.
Yeah. So and I knew this at the back of my mind, but the way he put it, it was so that you don't create content, you are the content.
Yeah.
And that hit the bullseye.
Does that scare you though? I get very worried about that sometimes because I feel like that wall is also important between you and your work, right? Like, and I feel like I don't want to become a commodity. You know?
Yeah. So that I kind of relate to that, but I have a little more to add to that. Is that I fear or I'm really insecure about my fame. Or right now I'm popular. Right. I'm not famous. I'm popular. People know me. हाँ ये वो बंदा है. इसको मैंने बचाओ पे देखा है. इसको मैंने कटको में देखा है.
Within Gujarat, I think you're more than popular.
Yeah, within Gujarat, decent amount of people know me, but the fame part is that it's very tricky surface. It's thin ice. Fame is a very thin ice.
Yeah.
और अभी तो जो cancel culture आया है उसकी वजह से, और अभी तो जो cancel culture आया है उसकी वजह से तो you get scrutinized every day, every single move of yours.
Yeah.
Right. Like I still remember Hindustani Bahu uploaded a video from a Ganpati Pandal. and he was facing his back towards the Ganpati. और नीचे comment है पीठ दिखा रहा है भगवान को ये वो and people are just banning him for that, which is wrong, which is obviously wrong. He promotes religion, he promotes patriotism and stuff like that, and him doing such a silly mistake, it is not acceptable by his own audience. So कल उठ के मैंने कुछ ऊंच नीच बोल दिया, मैंने कुछ भी फ्लो में आके बोल दिया, तो मेरे को जख मार के सॉरी बोलना ही पड़ेगा. Like what Kevin Hart faced or what Ellen is facing right now, वो जाके हम सबके साथ होगा. And that's why I fucking hate fame. It's because that it makes you so fragile as a human being that कल उठ के कुछ भी तुम पे 20 साल पुराना कोई भी आक्षेप डालेगा, कोई भी कुछ blame करेगा, and people will believe in that narrative like anything.
But I feel like there's a hack to this. Like I think I have found it, which is that if the people who are like say Kevin Hart has to say sorry, say Louis C.K. with everything that's happened in his career, right? Like the one thing I find in common with both of these guys is that they have their own means of distribution. Like Kevin Hart is the LOL network, Louis C.K. has his own website. And you can cancel them and you can hate them on Twitter, you can spam them, but you can't take away their livelihood anymore. Right?
Yeah, like how you can't take away livelihood of Kamra also.
Yeah, you can't. No matter how much you try, he's still going to sell tickets and he's still out like, in terms of like say Louis C.K., right? Uska pura cancel kar diya. Some club will always let him perform. If no club lets him perform, he can book an auditorium and perform. And he'll shoot his own special and he'll put it on his own website.
Jo usne kiya.
And now your entire cancel culture is kind of negated because they wanted to cancel this person, and whether that's a justified decision or not is a separate conversation. But it's not possible anymore because you have your own means of distribution, right?
Well, in India it's kind of difficult because you also have this fanatics who will probably
burn your house down.
Yeah, they'll try to burn your house down. They'll try to burn you. So
I actually had a homeopath doctor say that to me, "Ghar jala denge," and I was like, "Dude, I think you are missing the point entirely."
Let's make it quick. Unlike medicines. No, but I personally feel that fame is a double-edged sword. It can hurt you at any given point of time.
Yeah.
And you have to be extremely careful, and that's what a lot of us need to know. Like, when we see a Dave Chappelle, when we see a Louis C.K., we are like, we need to keep this don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
But culturally in India, that's not possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's impossible to have that kind of behavior wherein you are like, I don't give a fuck what people think about me.
Yeah.
And because of that, like Zakir had a very nice thing to say that 70% of your career is how you hide your stupidity. It's such a brilliant context that everything falls into this place. That I still remember we started off our careers at the same given point of time, and we used to do some silly jokes on stage.
We have said very, but you know what, dude? I don't blame us for it, right? Because you only know what the limit of an audience is when you say it out loud.
Exactly.
And they pull back, right? Like that's the only way to know. There's no other way to know only.
Yeah. So so now what has happened is that now when religion is out of the game, it's like you are playing gully cricket in Eden Gardens. Like the boundary line is so close now. You can't hit a proper six or a proper boundary line because तुम्हारी boundaries कम हो गई है. Like Jim Jeffries also in his latest special, he had a very nice thing to say that the line was over here 10 years ago, but the line is over here now.
Yeah.
And the comedian's job is to always go till the line.
Yeah.
Right? अभी line तुम इधर से इधर खींचोगे तो तुम 10 साल पुरानी चीज के लिए हमारा कॉलर नहीं पकड़ सकते.
Exactly.
कि 2013 के ट्वीट के लिए हमारा कॉलर नहीं पकड़ सकते कि तब तुमने ऐसा क्यों बोला. पर तब एक्सेप्टेबल बिहेवियर था. वो सोशली चीजें कैपिटल पनिशमेंट एक टाइम पे सोशली एक्सेप्टेबल था. पर अब नहीं है. So it's
I mean India में तो
yeah, that's it. but that's where we need to understand that comedians, as you rightly said, that our job is to always go till the limit, till जहाँ तक वो shock देता है वहाँ तक जाना हमें पड़ता ही है. But a lot of comics do it just for the heck of it. Like I realize that in 2015 and 16, I was just trying to ape or trying to clone what other comics were doing in the scene. And I realized that I'm not doing something which is coming from within me.
Yeah.
And that's when I did Papa Chene set in Ashok Gujarati, because that's the closest set to me and that's the most appreciated set of mine, which I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what it is.
That's the most honest you have been also, I feel like, on stage. Of all the stuff that you put out.
Yeah.
It's the only, like, it's the
100%.
most honest that I've seen you be on stage.
100%. It is an exaggerated story in some points, obviously. When you hear it, it is exaggerated. But I've thought of it. When Kagro Mari Sami Ato, there was literally, because show actually Papa Che, I actually gave it a thought. When Shraddh ke time pe main Kobe ko khana khila and I was looking at the cow and I was like, is that really you, Dad? Like, what kind of stupid tradition is this? and then I believed it.
Yeah.
So no matter how, see, that's the whole point about Hinduism traditions, that no matter how stupid it may sound, but it has a message. It has something that it teaches you, and that's why I'm like a sort of a religious person.
Right.
I'm not completely hardcore religious, but I am a religious person. I'm going to Ganpati Sthapana bhi kare. And it really gives a lot of positivity in your life.
Oh yeah, that is one thing I've noticed. Religious people tend to have a generally more positive day-to-day life.
Yeah, so now earlier I was a little cynic in between.
Yeah.
And that was because, as I was saying, that in the 2015-16 I did a lot of jokes about religion, about politics, about sex and all.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't have that much of wisdom to talk about these topics.
Right.
I do not have that caliber કે હું આને completely explore કરીને લોકો સામે મૂકી શકું. So I stopped doing it. I don't do politics, I don't do religion, and I only did it at that point in time because that guy is doing it, it's cool, let me try it.
Right.
But I genuinely felt after I did Papa Chene that real comedy comes from your own life.
Yeah.
The things that you yourself experience.
But like politics and religion are also technically things that we experience, right? Like it's stuff that we are, like religion is such a personal thing.
Yeah.
That like it's your religion, so obviously you want to talk about it, right? Like, and it's like a lot of people will be like, oh, you won't make jokes on other religions, but I'm not from another religion.
Yeah, so you have not practiced that religion to joke about it or to find faults in it.
Yeah,
you are absolutely right, and that's what even I've tried to tell that to a lot of people. Like, people always come up to you and tell you, अगर हिम्मत है तो इस्लाम पे jokes बनाना, Prophet Muhammad पे बनाना, ये वो. And I'm like, dude, I can't crack jokes about them because I've not experienced that religion.
I can't even read the language. Like वो अरबिक है तो उर्दू में लिखते हैं सब कुछ. मैं तो पढ़ना भी नहीं आता. तो मैं कौन से standing से मैं आके उसके बारे में बात करूँ?
Yeah. So that's the whole point, that I don't speak publicly about the facts that I'm ignorant about. That's why I didn't speak about the exams, जो GRE या जो भी exams, NEET, ये सारी exams के बारे में people were forcing me, because the moment I did videos on Hindustani Bhau and Shubham Mishra, they all of a sudden thought that I'm a social activist kind of a guy, and they started giving me कि ये Bangalore riots के बारे में बोलना, ये exams के बारे में बोलना. Dude, I spoke about comedy because I have lived comedy.
Yeah. And I was really glad you did it, because in the middle of all of the shit that was going on, you were the only person to reach out to the opposite side and be like, chalna baat, because nobody bothered talking to these people, right?
Yeah.
And what sometimes frustrates me is that comedians will be like, अरे यार ये joke तो मैंने कब मारा था जब मैं 21 साल का था यार. शुभम भी 21 साल टाइप्स का ही है. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is him.
Oh, dude, he's a changed man now. I just spoke to him day before yesterday, and Shubham really understood his mistakes. Like, पहले हफ्ते he had a lot of hate when all of these things were happening. And then slowly and gradually he was talking to me, and he had so much compassion in his voice while he was talking to me. He still makes videos which are really, and I was telling him that, dude, when you were talking to me, you are such a nice guy, but when you're in the front of the camera, you are a different person.
Yeah.
And then this point was actually told to me by him, the thing that I was saying, कि मैंने एक टॉपिक पे बोला ना मनन भाई, तो मेरे को बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं इस पे बोलो, इस पे बोलो, इस पे बोलो, तो मेरे को ऐसा अंदर से होता है कि बोलना ही पड़ेगा। तो मैंने उसको समझा है कि दोस्त तेरे को अगर तू जिम जाता है तो तेरे को जिम के बारे में पता है तो तू जिम के बारे में बात कर, पर तू ये दूसरी सारी चीजों के बारे में बात मत कर। I mean, you can have an opinion. You can have an opinion about anything and everything.
Yeah.
But
it should be an informed opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So even if it's a joke,
yeah,
it should be a joke which, like, Kamra released a bit about Islam.
Yeah.
After all of this controversy was going on, Kamra is like, everybody is telling me joke about Islam. ये ले, पूरा set Islam. पूरा set है Islam है. And Kamra is an atheist. So उसको वो privilege है कि वो सारे religion के बारे में. But me being a practicing Hindu, I can't always joke about other religions because obviously, and that's the whole point that like in Oh My God also, a lot of people एक narrative खड़ा हुआ है पूरा कि जिसमें लोग बात कर रहे हैं that you know, hey man, पहले से ही मजाक उड़ाते हैं हिंदुइज्म के बारे में since a long time. You know, movies में Oh My God में भी.
Oh My God was, that's the thing though, right? Like Oh My God is not making fun of religion.
Yeah.
It's making fun of
the
religious people.
No, it is making fun of the people who have made fun of the religion.
Yeah, like who and that's constantly my thing, right? Like I was just on YouTube the other day, and there is a video where the thumbnail is like it says ancient Indian technologies that were already there, and there is जो 3 लाइन वाला टिका जो करते हैं और उधर लिखा है Wi-Fi. That is not religiously offensive, right? Like if you गणपति रेडियो पे आके फ्लैट बेच के जा रहे हैं गणेश चतुर्थी के टाइम पे, वो religiously offensive नहीं है categorically. दारू पियो 3 पत्ती खेलो पंडाल के बाजू में, it's completely chill, right? But like
शीला की जवानी तुम बजाओ. That was the joke which Adar Malik was trying to make.
Yeah.
That you know he was not joking about Ganpati.
Yeah.
He was actually, I'm not talking about the Sanjay Rajora joke.
No.
That was
a
like
bit pushing it.
Yeah, that was a little on the edge.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna defend that joke, but I'm definitely defending the Adar Malik joke because he was not making fun of Ganpati Bhagwan or Hinduism. Was making fun of people who have made fun of our religion.
Yeah.
Because you know, Hindustani Bhav got really pissed with the fact that Bahrain में एक औरत है burqa clad woman and she was throwing Ganpati murtis on the floor and breaking Ganpati murtis, and he got offended at that, and that was a video which really ticked off everybody.
Right.
And that's how he got banned. Right. And it's not for this reason. Because he was like कि अभी सिस्टम बाजू में, ये बाजू में, अभी सबकी मारो,
right,
अभी सबको मारो,
right,
ये उसने हेट को इंस्टिगेट किया. So उसका सेम क्वेश्चन है that these people do not raise their voice when you know Ganpati murtis are treated very badly during Visarjans in Mumbai itself.
Exactly.
I've seen Ganesh Visarjan के बाद once I was doing a show at Habitat और विसर्जन का टाइम था. I think that's why they lined up Gujarati show at Habitat for the first time because they realized that Visarjan इसलिए कोई आएगा नहीं. And in the middle of the show we are recording और बाहर ढोल बज रहे हैं.
I was at that show. I remember that show.
Oh, yeah. So after that show got over, I was at the Khar Danda Road. Khar Danda ही बोलते हैं ना उसको?
Kind of.
जब मैं हाईवे पे जा रहा था उस वक्त.
Yeah, Khar Danda Road.
हाँ.
Yeah.
तो वहाँ पे रास्ते पे मूर्तियाँ पड़ी थी. हार माला नारियल सब. They left it on the road.
Yeah.
They left the murtis on the road.
I've seen processions of Visarjan where people are going to Visarjan and then some of them keep going off to the side to puke because they've been drinking so much. Like they're like, और एक बार जो लोग लाल बाग के राजा को जो लोग खींच के जाते हैं ना, वो लोग 10 दिन उपवास करके जाते हैं.
Yeah.
So like that's the difference of Shraddha which is present in the population.
Exactly the point.
And the problem is that politicians have used these religious festivals to turn black to white basically.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so much of it is money laundering. Where is this money coming from? Every year there are new T-shirts going on to every pandal with a politician's face on it, dude. Like who is more important to you right now? I have seen posters where there is every volunteer और गणेश जी बेचारे बीच में. अब गणपति का बर्थडे है ना? गणेश जी का बर्थडे तो ये बंटी और मंगेश क्यों है इस पे? नहीं होने चाहिए वो लोग उधर.
So it really bothers me, and that's the whole point. That you know when these things are happening, we have literally done the worst things to our own religion.
Yeah.
And people are getting ticked off because of freaking joke. Like we have made Sheila Ki Jawani ka bhajan.
Yeah.
वो tune का. and we are doing Ganpati Visarjan.
You know which community I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the name because these people have tried to sue me before. But you know those people who do who do this very routinely, where all of the bhajans are now Bollywood songs.
Yeah.
Right? Like you know what?
The tunes of Bollywood.
Yeah, they're all on tunes of Bollywood songs, and you are sitting at your house and suddenly you hear like, "Hey, kaun loudspeaker pe Bollywood bajaa purane gaane," and then you realize the lyrics have been changed. Right? So, and then they'll be like, oh, we are just trying to keep up with the times. But like, copyright ka kya? And also like, I don't think God cares whether the melody is, nice or not. Like, I think it's, so...
I think Ojas has the most brilliant set on this.
Oh, yes, he does a great bit on this.
Yeah, Bhajan Mandi ka set, it is so good. तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है साईं बाबा तुमसे.
और ये सुना है मैंने. ये मुंबई में बहुत होता है ये.
अरे ये मुंबई नहीं, ये रूरल रीजन्स में ज्यादा होता है. This thing works like 90s song by bhajans is a huge industry in the rural sector overall. And that's the whole point, that my Shraddha or my Astha towards my own religion is way different than yours.
Yeah.
Right? Same way, patriotism के बारे में भी मैं बोलूँगा तो it's the same thing. That, my patriotism is more about the fault which I see in my own country. Not what Pakistan is saying to me or doing to me, not what China is doing to me.
Yeah, and patriotism and anti-government are very different things.
Yeah, of course.
Right, like
I'm not talking about even anti-government.
Yeah.
If for example, यहाँ पे OP road पे पूरा जो bridge बन रहा है, it's a completely fucked up road, right?
Oh man, I've been using it every day. It's a really bad road right now.
It was one of the
best roads. I remember we used to go on drives.
Yeah, it was one of the best roads, and I was completely fucked up. And nobody's giving a shit about it.
Yeah.
Like, अगर तुम्हें protest करना हो तो ये सब religion और ये हिंदू phobia ये सब छोड़ो side पे. Just focus on what is needed for you and your own livelihood.
Do you feel like do you feel like this, like in my head I see it as like I'm gonna be a content creator until I have to be a content creator, and as soon as I can start making a living going back on stage, I don't know if I'll keep doing as much of the content stuff. You know what I mean?
So I think I don't know, man. I'm slowly and gradually I'm growing out of short form content.
Yeah.
Like, because internet has now become more about short form content and less about
very short form content.
Like this podcast also is a very good thing, but very few people watch it.
Oh yeah, I mean apart from the patrons themselves, I don't know a lot of people who do. I only realized people watch it when we stopped putting the full episodes on YouTube after the last episode. Is when people started messaging me saying, oh, where can I find? And then when I saw the website hits, I realized, oh okay, so there are maybe some 3,000 people who, but it's nothing like the kind of numbers that other people are getting.
Yeah, so that's the whole point, that I think that slowly and gradually I would like to drift into probably making music and getting into long form content, like making movies or web shows.
Which you are making though, right?
Yeah. So we are in the process of making a web show and a movie or two as well. And we have written a movie together.
Yeah.
You, me and Chirag. And I'm itching to get that on the floor as early as possible, and it was supposed to go. You remember I spoke to you
had that
before,
whole conversation,
before the pandemic started, and I told you, man, this is going to be positive. We're going to go on for this year. And then the fucking pandemic out of nowhere comes, and then all the dreams come to all.
It's so interesting because in March, we were all like, fuck, we could have been here, we could have been there. April, I could have been here, I could have been there. May, I could have been here, June, July tak, like I was bitching. I should have been in Canada, I should have been doing my West Coast tour right now, what the fuck am I doing at home? But in August, it was supposed to be in India working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, अब तो अगस्त आ गया, अब क्या bitch कर रहा है?
अब क्या करना है? नहीं, मैं तो अभी भी I still bitch a lot. I fucking regret because हमारा US tour plan हो गया था and we were doing something new this time. US, Canada, Australia. अभी तेरे सामने ही बात.
Yeah.
We were going to go in November in Australia, पर अभी chances बहुत कम लग रहे हैं Australia को. So I think it's a great learning experience, even though our income has come down by 80%. But we are finding and getting time to explore new avenues.
Yeah, like I mean, all of us, right? Like मैं इधर music album क्यों record कर रहा है? Like
you are the EP or you are going to like doing your own shit?
It's eight songs, man. It's over half an hour long. It's an album.
So your own album?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
It's like a.
I thought you were producing an album for Shashwat.
I don't know why everyone thinks that, but Shashwat is clearly the more competent musician amongst the two of us. Like with the fact that he's been doing it professionally now for all these years as well. And this is honestly like. I kind of feel guilty because this started with Shashwat saying कि मैं तेरे लिए एक गाना produce करके देता हूँ. But it didn't start with produce. It started with मैं एक गाने पे गिटार बजा के देता हूँ. Then it became एक गाना produce करके देता हूँ. Then it became तू आ जा ना मैं तेरे को record भी करवा दूँगा मैं just तू आ जा अपन 2 गाने 3 गाने कर देंगे. And then it became अच्छा 8 गाने करते तू आ जा बता. So I was like okay if I wait for 6 more months maybe like he'll give me more shit or something.
Like 12 songs album.
Yeah, but like. We wouldn't have had time actually. I genuinely feel like even on this one, I think we could have done 2 more songs. Like just to make it a more rounded thing. Mm-hmm. But I think what this made me realize is that if I know the kind of music I'm making, which is cool, I already have all these songs ready. And I know the producer.
हाँ हमारे जो सांबड़ और उसने मैंने मोकली तेरी से
मैंने बे ट्रैक मोकला है
मैं जो सांबड़ी ना
yeah
otherwise this question wouldn't have popped.
Yeah, but it's what I realized is that I stopped writing songs some time ago, right? Like, but the 8 years that I wrote songs, I have a lot of songs which are not going anywhere.
You're talking to a record label.
Oh man, I have some Gujarati songs also that you have already liked.
Yeah,
if you remember.
I tried to push that art
in
says
Chor Pani as well. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay, guys, those of you don't know.
Yeah.
Akash Mehta's debut movie would have been Chor Bani Thangad Kare.
Yeah.
And he shot the scene as well for an entire fucking day.
Yeah, I flew down to Ahmedabad. I bought flights twice and flew down once.
Yeah. And unfortunately that scene was edited out.
Yeah, I don't mind that to be honest with you in retrospect because that scene was also me ogling at somebody changing in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So I think in the context where we are in life right now, I think that was a bullet dodged almost.
Yeah, this is a pre Me Too movement and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I've become Skoda ad guy in the last few months.
Yeah, I saw that shoot. We went to Delhi and all.
Yeah, and the ad has become like people messaging me every day saying, "Are you the guy from the Skoda ad?" And
I've
like,
not seen that ad.
You know, it's weird because.
Let me check that out on your podcast.
Yeah, please don't. it's
મને નથી જોયું યાર મને ખબર જ નથી તું એ એડ બહાર આવી ગઈ કારણ કે તે વ્લોગ હમણાં જ પુટ અપ કરેલો ને
No, it's been a month. And that whole, this is Manan who cannot wait to watch content. This is what happens.
Yeah. શું લખું સ્કોડા
Skoda Rapid. Skoda.
હા સ્કોડા આવે
Skoda.
શાંતિ રાખ લંડનનું કરવું હતું ને
Well, I think it's very funny because.
Lund is a automobile company, no? You know that, right?
Yeah? Where is it? Lunde. L-U-N-D-E.
Lund.
Where?
L-U-N-D.
From what?
It's a German company. I think.
Okay. I know
Ah,
London.
so Skoda Rapid શું લખું
Manpreet.
Manpreet.
Yeah, that's the name of the character.
You are Manpreet.
I am Manpreet.
How did they make you Manpreet?
Hey, we have to finish podcast also, Manan.
Hey, it's okay. The podcast can wait.
It's Man. This is Preet. 2 personalities in one body.
Oh, you're bipolar.
Singles, but when
Yeah.
changes to Preet.
You're eating insects.
Likes to chill.
It's a marzipan.
Preet.
People actually commented telling me, how can you eat grasshoppers? Are you a Chinese
Likes
person?
safety. Preet likes to party.
Yeah, and this shot with the chicken also got me into a lot of trouble
Man and
at
Preet
home.
never agreed with each other until they drove the new Skoda Rapid. Man likes mileage. Preet likes power. The new Skoda Rapid TSI with both mileage and power satisfies both sides.
Basically, Skoda Rapid is for bipolar people.
Kind of. I can't say anything about the product. It's a fine fine product. I drove it around for the shoot and it was quite a
I'm sure it's a great product. It's a great car. I'm not denying that.
I don't know if
What says a lot about the agency?
I don't know if this happens with you, but like, do you ever turn down brand stuff because you're like, I cannot endorse this brand,
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Yeah.
right? Like, and recently I got approached by some deodorant company, and the Parade company is a very popular company.
Oh shit.
You know the one?
Fuck.
Yeah, you know the one.
We got approached by a deodorant company, and we used that deodorant as
Acha.
We use that deodorant as room fresheners. Because it's
Lagane layak nahi ho.
हाँ.
I got approached by
We
this
got a 24 bottle का sample,
Great.
and we have not ran out of it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
It's in the kitchen.
Love it. I'm gonna take one. But where does the Manan the musician start? Or is it Manan the musician? Is it Manan the music lover? Is it Manan the music producer? Is it? How do you recognize yourself in this landscape?
So I want to be a music producer.
Right.
I am a record label at this point in time. As in me and Vidya both, we collectively run Gunjan Records.
Yeah.
As we speak, I'm going to show you a song after this podcast gets over, which is on the edit table right now. It's a beautiful song that we created with Sachin Jigar. It has those, like a jazz and fusion kind of a mix to it, and it's something very unlikely. It's Hindi and Gujarati both.
Right.
So the chorus is Hindi and the lyrics in between are Gujarati.
Yeah.
So it's something very interesting that we have done. So at core, I'm a music lover. I can't think. There's only one thing I really fear of is the people who do not have music in their lives.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how comedy में समझ सकता हूँ. Comedy सबका cup of tea
Subjective हो
होता है.
जाता है, हाँ.
But music, dude, how can you not have music in your life?
Yeah.
And having a bhajan also is fine. That's also kind of music only.
Yeah.
But so eventually I want to learn music production. Probably my dream is also to go to Berkeley and learn a course or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I am ever going to shift my career, it's going to be probably from comedy to music.
And Gunjan is a very important name also, right?
Yeah, because my dad used to have this shop where he run apparently a piracy racket. So after years from now, if there is a Wikipedia page of Gunjan Records, probably it's gonna say the same thing. T-Series ka copy paste hoga usme. Gulshan Kumar used to pirate bhajans in the 80s. And then PewDiePie ka bachcha uspe diss track banayega. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I think that's the legacy that we wanted to take forward with Gunjan Records. And the other reason is that Gujarat mein most of the music sucks, dude. We have such a rich Garba music ka bank.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just shitty music in between. Like all the hit songs, which are millions of hits, it has the same fucking beat, which I've joked about.
Yeah.
It's this percussion, man. This percussion is not music. We have come to a point wherein people don't understand that there is a difference between a speaker music and a headphones music.
Yeah.
Music should be more about what you listen to on your headphones and not what you listen to on your speaker.
Okay. Yeah.
It should be more about, because the headphone music, that is where...
That's personal.
Yeah, and that's where the music production is actually heard.
Yeah.
Pan effects hoti hai, yahan
Yeah.
pe samajh
Because
aata hai.
speakers music is just like what's playing in the
It's
background.
It's thumping music. Like
Yeah.
Visarjan mein dikka tikka, dikka tikka,
Yeah.
dikka tikka. That music, that's just, people think it's amazing music, but no, that's just one fucking beat playing in loop. And that's how you need to recognize good music. It shouldn't be music which you listen to on your speakers. The music that you listen to on speakers is basically the popular music.
Yeah.
जिसपे टोनी कक्कड़ ने अपना करियर बनाया है, या this guy has made a career जिसने मसक अली बनाया था part 2. टोनी कक्कड़ ही था ना?
I didn't even hear that song, to be honest with you. I listened to like 20 seconds and then I said,
I also didn't listen to it. and people have hated it, but obviously that producer has made so many hits. Like I have had long conversations with good musician friends of mine, also in the industry, including you, including Shashwat also. नीलाक्ष के साथ भी बात करता हूँ, चिराग के साथ भी करता हूँ, सचिन निगर के साथ, सबके साथ करता हूँ. सचिन निगर को मैं बोलता हूँ कि you have so many party numbers. But then I realized, and I told them that यार तुम लोग soulful music क्यों नहीं बनाते? Like Rahman has been out of the picture since quite some time now. And he has not been having that interesting. Dil Bechara was also a little. 3-4 songs बहुत अच्छे थे. बाकी का song पूरा. I mean, we had.
I miss the time when you could listen to a OST that is composed like, and just every song you could spend a week on.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So वो अभी soulful songs बंद हो गए क्योंकि अभी क्या है कि 3 मिनट में attention कैसे grab करने का, और 3 मिनट में attention grab तो obviously upbeat या peppy या ऐसे number से ही होता है. तो music has just gone to the dogs now. Like couple of industry big players have just fucked and screwed the entire industry.
But don't you think it's also like it's also what the audience wants at the end of the day, right? Like I feel like this is a generation of kids who are crying about a relationship that never happened. You know what I mean?
So
like breakup, अरिजीत के गाने जो है, जो उसका पूरा career है, not he's a great vocalist, but like all his songs are about लड़की छोड़ के गई. कौन है गांडू लड़की? जो 17 साल का लड़का रो रहा है, कौन है ये लड़की जो तेरे को छोड़ के गई? और तू क्या खुन्नस लेके आया है? तेरी लाइफ में इतना क्या बुरा हो गया, इससे क्यों कैसे रिलेट कर पा रहा है? But that's my like thing, right? If some you don't pick the music you love, right? It comes to you.
So my theory to this is, as you rightly said, that you don't pick good music, that the music comes to you. An audience नया सुनना चाहती है, पर उन्हें पता नहीं कि उनको नया सुनना है, क्योंकि उनको सजेस्टेड पोस्ट और रेकमेंडेड और पीयर प्रेशर और लोग क्या सुन रहे हैं उसमें ही है. मैं ये बहुत बीच में बहुत फालतू जोक मारी थी. मैंने विद्या बोला था कि विद्या अपनी एरिया में बिल्लियाँ नहीं है, अपने बड़ौदा में बिल्लियाँ बहुत कम हो गई ना. Like why are you asking, why are you saying this? Like हाँ, क्योंकि लोगों में क्यूरियोसिटी ही नहीं हुई. नहीं, बहुत सारी बिल्लियाँ हो गई, सॉरी, बहुत सारी बिल्लियाँ बहुत बढ़ गई है बड़ौदा. So now people are not curious. Like most of the music that I listen to today has been discovered by me.
I completely agree. Like, you remember how much effort was involved in finding music back in the day?
Yeah.
From LimeWire to Torrent.
Exactly.
To any means necessary. You hear the fragment of a song somewhere in a TV, there's no bloody Shazam.
And you download 10-15 songs.
Yeah.
Hope to get the song that you are listening to on MTV.
And you just can't find it, and then you kind of hear it somewhere else. You know, there have been songs which I've waited 6-8 years and somebody has played it somewhere. And I'm like, oh fuck, stop everything. What is this song you're playing?
And it's just that song.
And it's such a beautiful journey.
But yeah, so
was it weird though for you when you were an RJ? Like, because we all know you were an RJ for a while, and as an RJ you don't really get that choice. And as somebody who has such defined music taste, was it hard to just play whatever you are told to play?
So two things. I don't have a defined.
No, in the sense like you know what you like.
Yeah, but I listen to all genres. I listen to metal, rap. I listen to classical, everything. So this is a hack which I never told this, and I might get in trouble for saying this. But at times, when I get into my show, I look at the entire playlist of my show.
Would you get to choose that?
No.
The software chooses that, right?
Yeah.
Almost?
Yeah. So you are not allowed to touch any songs. But after a couple of years, I started changing it to just see that whether I get in trouble or not.
Yeah.
Right. And then मुझे PPL reports बनाने थे, जो आगे भेजने थे मुझे. और अगर कुछ discrepancy आती है, तो yellow mark अपने आप आ जाता है कि यहाँ पे song change हुआ था, यहाँ पे ये हुआ था, change ये हुआ. तो मैं वो PPL reports मुझे भेजनी होती थी, तो मैं yellow mark हटा देता था. उसका copyright का पैसा उसके record label पर चला जाएगा. मैं वो चीज़ के साथ fidget नहीं करता था. But जो software जो एल्गोरिदम है जो चूज करता है कि म्यूजिक कैसा बजना चाहिए कौन से घंटे में. So usually what happens is that when I get into a show and if I see sometimes the algorithm really fucks up. Like 7 in the morning he's playing Party Abhi Baki. So who the fuck plays 7 in the morning Party Abhi? अभी तुम लोग 6 से 7 तुमने भजन बजाया और पहला ही सॉन्ग तुम Party Abhi Baki बजाओगे, ऐसा तो नहीं चलेगा ना. So I kind of change it at times and stuff like that. So eventually what happened was that if I played 10 songs in an hour, I used to change 3 of them.
Right.
क्योंकि मैं टॉप कैटेगरी के सॉन्ग्स जो A1 कैटेगरी है जैसा था वहाँ पे A कैटेगरी B कैटेगरी C कैटेगरी ऐसे सो जो सबसे पॉपुलर सॉन्ग्स आर इज A कैटेगरी जिसका दिन में फ्रीक्वेंसी सबसे ज्यादा था. तो मैं वो सारे सॉन्ग्स चेंज नहीं करता था पर मैं जो E F कैटेगरीज के सॉन्ग्स थे वो चेंज करता था और उसके वजह से I did get into trouble once but yeah I did change them because I was very particular कि नहीं यार ये सॉन्ग क्यों सुन रहे लोग अभी फालतू सॉन्ग है ये 2 साल पहले हिट था अभी क्यों बज रहे हैं फालतू. So I change it with good old songs.
Right.
Like I would change Bhagere Man with Chinnamma Chilkamma.
Right. Yeah, that makes
sense. Both the songs are good.
Yeah, around the same time also.
Chinnamma Chilkamma is so much of a better song. So like Titli Dabochli Maine. It is such a nice song. कितने मस्त song है.
It is.
कितनी विकृत वस्तु एकदम innocently की थी.
Yeah.
So most of the times it's just A.R. Rahman songs which I replace it with.
Whenever
and when the ads are playing, I listen to my own music in the studio.
Right.
With those speakers.
Oh,
so I install it on my PC and then through the network I take it into the studio computer and then I full blast all my favorite songs. In fact, I have a video of that online wherein I'm listening to my own music while I'm in the studio.
That sounds great. Yeah. We're almost at the end of this. One thing I really wanted to explore because you do so much material around this, right? Is your relationship with your dad and your mom.
Yeah.
Right? Because your dad passed away when you were 17. And that's there's him stuff has come. Great.
The stuff.
Hey, him, can you just check if that mobile is still recording? It's recording, no?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is.
17 is a hopelessly young age.
Yeah.
You have no idea what the fuck is going on at 17. At least if I go by my experience and the experience of the 17-year-olds I perform for in college shows. And at that point, like how does that like and you didn't even know, right? Like as in I remember you were telling me the story of how you found out.
Yeah. मम्मी हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड थी. पापा हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड था. और मम्मी हॉस्पिटल में पापा साथ गई थी. And then I got a call in the middle of the night. That something had happened. And the fucking doctor never told us. So we did a what do you call it? Angiography. जब लोग हार्ट में खबर पड़े तो ये 4-5 कलाक पहले कर ली तो एंजियोग्राफी नॉर्मल आ गई थी. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, he got a massive heart attack. Like he was completely as if a ghost has entered his body and akha elevate the gala like a chakrasan the gala. That massive heart attack. And mom was crying frantically. So mom told me that he literally like was not able to bear the attack. And the fucking doctor never told us that he doesn't have an ICU unit in the hospital. So we had to take him from that hospital to the other hospital. And the main doctor, the intern doctor, the intern doctor ने बताया खबर ना दिया उसको. I mean, he might be guilty about it. He might know who I am today or whatever. But I wish I could kill him at that point in time. I did wish death upon him and I did break the glass of the main hospital when the doctor announced him dead in the other hospital. I punched the fucking glass and they filed a police complaint against me also. And then my uncle threatened them that if you sue us, we are going to sue you back and really bad. So then it was compromise and stuff. And I was 17 back then. People were coming up to me and telling me because I was just a fucking
baby dude.
Aggressive little cunt I was at that point of time. So yeah, I mean, he was given that shock thing.
Yeah, defibril.
And they were not able to revive him. And I still remember when he was announced dead, I went into the room and I tried pumping his chest. And I went crazy. I was just punching him in the chest and trying to bring him back. But all in vain, he was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, and then there was just a very dark phase when I was suicidal. I still remember his sister only, Bhavika. She was with me for a good week, and I think एक अठवाडियों अगर कोई होता ना हमारे सामने, I would have done something pretty shitty, like probably harm myself or harm somebody else.
Right.
So I was in that phase, but then I was handled well by my mother, and I were really fighting. Like whenever we see each other, we used to. Because mom, for a good amount of time, blamed me for not, being a good child. And then, yeah, it changed. I tell this to a lot of people that if my dad was alive today, I wouldn't have been the person I am today.
Yeah.
Because that shock really changed me completely as a human being.
Yeah. It's like you explained it very perfectly in Papa Chene, right? Like
yeah.
that constant sense of reliance that one has growing up.
Yeah.
Like, of course, this is it's a given.
Yeah.
And then that is taken away, right?
Yeah, because till the age you are 18, 16, 17, 18, your mom is taking care of you.
Yeah.
It's when you turn an adult is the time when dad steps in and tells you, hey man, this is how you live your life.
Yeah.
And that's the best part, that I've had this as a part of my set also, wherein my dad had promised me that tu agar 12th mein 70% plus lavish, so I'll give you anything you want, and he practically gave me everything. He left when my preliminary exams of 12th were there, and within 3 months I scored 72.5. Statistics mein copy mari. I'll be honest for that.
It's too old for it to count anymore.
So yeah, I mean, and I still remember when I got my mark sheet, I was like, Dad, I fulfilled your promise. And now after so many years, earlier I used to talk to him like talk to his photo, and for good 3-4 years I used to talk to his photo.
Yeah.
Hey Dad, I got a job today, I'm working in a radio.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That after movies mein hota hai na, hey mummy kya mummy, that kind of thing. And then now I talk to him not talk to him, but like a one-way communication, like twice or thrice a year.
Right.
Wherein there's one good thing, and now it's only about good things,
Yeah.
पहले मैं dad को complain भी करता था, यार पापा आज ऐसा हो गया, पापा ऐसा हो गया. It's a very weird thing that because I was young. So this is funny. This is also part of my set, but I chucked it later. I didn't masturbate for good 3 years.
Wow, that's an interesting fact that I don't know if I wanted to know at all. That's great.
Cause I fucking thought that dad might be watching. I was caught once. My dad walked on me. Everybody, it happens with most of us. It happens with the best of us. When you are masturbating and your dad or probably your parent, one of the parent catches you, and it has happened with me, wherein it was not explicit or gory, but we knew that we knew. And that happened about a month before he passed away.
Right.
So, so even when I was trying to please myself, like Papa che, that was a fucking joke as a part of the set.
Sakhat Ashuddha Gujarati.
And for a good 3 years, I had proper wet dreams. Like that phase was wet dreams fed. Because if you don't ejaculate for good 6-7 days, you will fucking.
That's nightfall.
Nightfall. Nightfall થઈ ગયું. શું કહેવાય એને ગુજરાતીમાં હું ભૂલી ગયો.
ઊંઘના ફુવારા.
ઊંઘના ફુવારા નહીં, એક બહુ સરસ હતું એનું ટર્મિનોલોજી. પણ હા, so that was me. during that initial phase. So now what I've planned is that in Jati Reje, my ending set would be Mummy Chila.
Right.
And
But that must have also been interesting, right? Like, because I feel like, was there at any point, like, did you, because you were saying you all were fighting a lot. Did that get worse before it got better? Or
so the last conversation, the afternoon when he was hospitalized, I had a fight with him and I left the house and I was at a friend's place and then mom called up and I reached the hospital and then I apologized to dad. I was like, sorry Papa, my preliminary exams and I was not studying, I was being a prick.
Yeah.
Which I always was during my teenage life. And after that, I made him laugh. At that point in time, I still remember Munna Bhai MBBS had released. December 2014 was when Munna Bhai released. 2004 was when Munna Bhai had released.
Yeah.
In 2005 January, my dad passed away. And we had seen that movie just a week back. And Dad was telling me that you should be a doctor. And that's a joke. Like, I'm fucking in commerce. How the fuck am I supposed to be a doctor? So, I mean, because I made him laugh, made the patient on the next bed laugh.
Yeah.
When he was hospitalized. So we had a very good conversation. Last thing I told him was Jai Shri Krishna.
Lovely.
So it was a nice conversation. So in a way it was a good closure to the... But I never got a chance to properly apologize because I have given him so much of trouble overall because they had me at a very late age.
Yeah.
Which is probably the reason why we never got along so nicely. He was 65 when he passed away.
Right.
And I was 70.
Yeah, that's
So you can imagine the
huge gap.
Fucking age gap. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like he was my grandfather, age-wise. And it's very difficult. Now when I have Dhyana, I realize that having a kid in your 40s, in your late 40s, is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Because the energy of the kid is off the roof.
Yeah.
And you want to chill once you are 40.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know how they managed it. My
Right.
mom and dad both. My mom always kept me telling when I was younger that it's very difficult to fucking raise you, dude. It's very fucking difficult to do. So, it was difficult to raise me, not just because I was a prick, but also because of their age.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we have sailed through. Now, things are touched wood very well. And as I always say, Papa Jan, I still believe that I said that I'm semi-religious.
Yeah.
I'm not like a hardcore believer.
Yeah.
But I do believe that, I think life lessons, like PS I love you ma kyun hua tu, ke later mukine gaya tha and all of that.
Yeah.
So as I was saying that after dad passed away, I met a lot of his friends that I've never met.
Right.
And they told me stories which were amazing.
Right.
Like Atul Purohit also told me stories. United Way Raja Singer che. Like
and that's what because this is interesting to me because similar thing happened when my Nana had passed away.
Yeah.
And I remember I had spoken to you the day my Nana had passed away as well. You were the first person I told.
Yeah.
And right after the prayer meeting is when firstly a few thousand people showed up at that prayer meeting, which we didn't know. So like all those lines that they touched, they sort of come back to you, and now they are a part of your life.
In fact, Preeti na mummy Jawar se expired thi gaya tha early this year. She also was really surprised. She was in constant touch with me, and she also told me that Manan, I didn't know that mom has done so much in life.
Yeah.
I was like, that's their greatness. Like Lakshmi Vilas Palace na Darbar Hall ma mara papa ne tribute aapa maru. And I didn't know that he had such a, he was on a pedestal.
Yeah.
People had put him on a pedestal because of his humble nature, because of his greatness, that he had contributed to the musical scene in Vadodara. So my mom and I were looking at each other. I was looking at mom and mom, Atlu Badu Papa kayu je? And I was like, yeah, bitch. What do you think? I've been supportive for so many years. And I was like, oh yeah, dude. So he was given tribute in music college in Baroda, in Darbar Hall, in Lakshmi Vilas Palace, and by the biggest musical names in Baroda.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows Girish Bhai Desai, Gunjanwala. And there are still so many people, despite of me achieving so much in life, in personal and in public space, there are still people who call me Girish no Dikro.
Yeah, and I think that's not so bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a nice
I would
have.
love if somebody calls me, Girish no Dikro rather than calling me, Jati Reje or Manan Desai or Kakku or whatever. I really, jare koi Girish no Dikro ke neta tarata jam. Tell me more, please. Tell me more about my dad. I want to listen to what he says.
Yeah.
And dad has given me the best part is, and that's how I believe in these things, is that my dad never told me after he passed away, he was not able to be there for me to guide me.
Yeah.
But he came in form of his friendships that he had set up for all these years.
Right.
All these people came up to me and told me stories about my dad, which taught me humility, which taught me a lot of positive approach towards life. And it's still till date, I still remember just 2 years ago, I showed that mail to Vidya. An unknown person sent me a mail from UK who knew my dad. And when I was speaking about my dad in one of the sets or probably in one of the videos, is the time he approached me. He's like, Girish bhai, damn, he wrote a big ass long mail. I'm so happy to have known Dikro. I didn't knew that you were his son. And then I met him in UK when I was there last year. I was so pleasantly surprised that he showed me the photos with my dad, the prints of it, and he showed me the cassettes he had made.
Right.
And I still remember those cassettes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes. And I'm like, wow, dude, that's halfway across the world and you have planted your seed so many places. Pretty sure he had a couple of illegitimate
But I think that's one big takeaway for me from this conversation is that we really don't realize how many lives we impact.
Yeah.
And especially as artists, right? Because for us it's just the bana ke nikal diya, but like somebody can really hold on to that, and that can become a centerpiece of somebody's life for that minute or that moment.
Ek vastu ye पण say that it's a very contrasting thing that I'm going to say is that hathi mare to sawa lakh. That because you would sell those tusks and you would get a lot more money. So it's like that only. જ્યારે પણ કોઈ જ્યારે માણસ જીવતો હતો, ગિરીશ દેસાઈ જ્યારે જીવતો હતો, ત્યારે એને એનું ડ્યુ મળ્યું નહીં.
Right.
If we meet an untimely death, there will be a lot of conversations about us. And all positive. But that's the whole point which happened with my dad also, that when he passed away, before that he was just like a dad for me. Like strict dad. Okay, a dad who always annoys the fuck out of me, never satisfied, never happy. That kind of dad. That's a normal dad thing. Even I'm going to be that dad to Dhyana after.
You think so?
I'm not too sure, but I was
asking Vidya also about this. How do you see everything now in context of a child? Like, because I've heard how much. I mean, even with my nephew, I see how much my life perspective has shifted when I hold him in my hands. And when it's your own manufactured child. And the gravitas of that, like I feel like that must really, now everything is with that new filter, right?
That's true. Yeah, so Maramate, it's true. So the good thing is that one thing that I've learned from my mom and dad, and I told this to mom and mom was really pissed about it. I told mom, one thing I've learned from you about parenting is how not to raise a child. And mom was so pissed.
Who says that to their mom also, dude? Manan, come on, man. I've seen you do this a lot. You say mean shit to your mom.
She
also says really mean shit to you, but that's true.
Mean shit to me. She's like, the other day she was talking about, on camera she was talking about me, and she's like, તું સૌથી અલગ દેખાતો હતો ઓપરેશન થિયેટરમાં જ્યારે બધા બાળકોને મૂકે ને એક રૂમની અંદર એમાં બધાનો બાપ તું લાગતો હતો. મેં કીધું બધાનો બાપ એટલો કદરૂપ હતો કે ના એટલે તું એટલો अलग लागतो तो एकदम तू बाकी બધા ગોરા કેટલા મસ્ત ચિટ્ટા લાગતા તો શું કેવા શું માંગે તું so my mom is a racist she is also
and with her own son who is her skin tone
yeah exactly चलो तो what was I saying
you're talking about how your mom is very inappropriate
हाँ तो इस like
and she can't see also
अपने next week में लिए हाँ no at that point in time she was able to see
right
but she's like अपने next week में जामा ना थी जो she's like no mom this is the safest place right now you just bear the ittar that's it that's the only thing you have to bear at this point in time but my mom so sarcasm was part of our family because Desais are really sarcastic.
Yeah, I know. My mom is one of you.
Yeah, Desai. Your mom is Desai.
My mom is my whole mom's side is Anavil as F, dude. Like they are so Anavil. It is so much Anavil power in the house.
Yeah. So Desais and plus my mom's side both were like sarcastic AF. Like it's still amazing that we still taunt each other like left, right, and center. Like and now what has happened, it has got into Vidya also. So recently my Masi had come, ये लोगों दर्शन करवा गया था खंबात. My Masi had come and we were having lunch together. And one of the Masis who rarely travels to Baroda, I think she came to Baroda for the first time. She had come to our wedding, Vidya and my wedding at Surat. So she met and Bina Masi is like, ओळख्या के नहीं थे हमने. तो विजय सामे और कुछ नहीं 10 वर्ष થઈ ગયા છે લગન ને મારા દર વખતે કેમ પૂછે છે you know that thing happens right ઓળખ્યો કે નહીં so now I just go to random uncle aunties at weddings and just tell them
ओळख्यो के नहीं and then they get fucking mind fuck because they're
no fuck nobody has asked us this question before we are the ones who asked this question. That's a great premise though. I should write that down.
Well, hey man, thanks for doing this, man. I'm glad that you took the time out. And
yeah, I'm so sorry. Just like my special, we have ended it on a somber note.
Oh, not at all, dude. I think if you this is perfect. We'll edit it. End में ऐसा हम sketch डाल देंगे. End में भाविश का joke डाल देंगे.
अपने TCF access का मुझे.
Oh man, I was gonna talk about Gagmala, dude. I wanted to redo Gagmala once.
You wanted to?
Remake Gagmala once.
हाँ तो चलो करिए
Yeah, we should now we know how to shoot it like really well.
Yeah.
Like पहले we didn't know how to shoot it as well. Like at least the excess team didn't know how to shoot it as well.
We didn't know anything.
You know what? Gagmala 2 में वो चिराग को ऐसा नीस पर रखे मुंह. Alright, that's been this episode of Akash Friends. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with more peoples. Thank you so much, patrons, all the patrons. Thank you for your continued support. I'm glad that you are supporting. We have many more episodes to go in this season. We are gonna hit 52 pretty soon and then we'll take a break. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.